Hello friends, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to explain for each from scratch to advance. So basically the for each is scope. Let me show you. So if I go to core component and if I go here scope, so as you can see that we have multiple scopes. So one of the scope is for each, and for each is like loop, for loop, which run sequentially over a collection. So we need to provide a collection application JSON, application Java, or application XML. These content type we can provide to for each as a collection, and our for each will iterate over one by one. One record is processed, the next record is processed. That's why it will basically execute one by one. And once you give a data to for each, basically for each do some internal, basically it will basically execute record one by one, but output of the for each will always be a payload. Whatever payload you have provided as an input, that is output. So basically, in other word, it is not change your payload. For each does not modify the current payload. The output payload is the same as the input. For non-Java collections such as XML, JSON, database expression to split data, use collection fields. So basically, as you can see that it has one collection field, so we can provide expression there. So it can iterate over non-Java collections. So and some of the variable also get it inside the for each. So I have a number of example. I'm going to explain you that. So as of now, you have understand what is a for each. For each is like loop which run sequentially one by one. So let me provide you one basic example. Suppose this is my listener. In my listener, I have used path example one. So let me generate one message here. So I'm going to generate a JSON as an array 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. Okay, and let me drag and drop for each. So you can search for each in the payload, or you can go to core component and scope and for each. So as you can see that I had dropped for each. If I saved you, and let me show you what kind of XML it is created. So it is a XML basically element for each. Let me do some logger. So basically let logger, I'm going to print payload in the logger. Payload hash payload. So it's will print payload in the logger. Okay, so let me run this example. As you can see that my project is deployed. Let me go through XML. So if you want to see the what is basically behind for each XML element is created, as you can see that it is for each. Under for each of those are the basically we have put only one logger which is simply printing a payload. So let me run this in Postman. So let me check what is the path I have mentioned. I have mentioned example one. So let me open a Postman collection. It is my example one. So if I click on send button, as you can see that 1 2 3 4 is coming, and which is nothing but input payload. And inside the for each we have basically print a logger. Inside the logger we have print payload. So let me show you. So first I'm going to show you what logger I have print, then I will show you uh, console logs. Yes, so as you can see that it is simply printing 1 2 3 4 5. So this is a basically very simple example how to use for each. Let's move to another example. So we have example one. So inside example one we have basically multiple use cases. As you can see that we have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. There are 6 use cases in example one. So this example one is purely depend on input for each. So what kind of input we are providing in a for each, so it will execute. So let me first run this project. Yes, as you can see that my application is deployed. So let me show you what basically input we are providing. So here we're providing a array. As you can see that JSON as array. So and inside that we're going to print what is a logger. Yeah. So in all logger, we are simply printing a payload. So let me send a request. So I'm going to send request. As you can see that request is going, and let me open a console because every time we need a console. So console, as you can see that first time name, another, and the second time another name Moinuddin, because we provide us basically array. Inside the array we have an object, so it automatically iterate over first time this one and second time this one. So let me show you another example. So another example is simple Java. As you can see that we are generating a key value pair. So it is an object. As you can see that this is the object, basically curly braces we have used. So this is output of this one is object, but in case of Java it is a collection. The collection as a map. You can consider a key value pair map. So key is key one and this is the value. So in order to provide this is particular MIME type as an object to for each, we need to make one kind of a special collection. Is like we are going to basically convert. This is an entry of, basically it is a converting a map entry of payload. So let me hit this one. This is an example one. So if I go to console, so as you can see that key 1 value 1, key 2 value 3, key 3 value 3, and key 4 value 4. So we can also provide a object, Java object to for each. Let me show you third example. As you can see that in third example we have a simply Java collection as array list. So let me hit this one. Yeah. And if I open a console log, so as you can see that 1 2 3 4. So this is simply printing. So the purpose of this example is to show you that how many types of input we can provide to for each. Let me show you another example. Yeah, same example as JSON. Previously it was Java. So Java is a key value pair map, but as you can see that here we are using a MIME type application JSON. So it's again a key value pair, but in JSON it called object. In case of JSON, we no need to use anything special to convert to object. So let me hit this example. This is a kind of third example. Yeah. Yes. So key value pair in case of inside. So as you can see that the for each we have used payload, and we have provide basically JSON object. So in basically in logger we are able to see one by one, key 1 value 1, like this one. XML data. So this is a basically another example where we are providing a XML data to for each. So let me show you what is the output of this one. So let me start my local machine window PowerShell. So actually I'm running Data View 2 editor playground in my local machine. Let me start this. So I've started this one. Yeah, and if I click on this localhost 999, so my local Data View playground is started. I'm simply putting this payload. Let me copy payload and putting here. So let me open leave. I think it is not. Yeah, it is started. Why it is not printing? Yeah, this time it is successfully run. Let me copy and paste. Yes. So as you can see that we are providing this XML to for each. So as you can see that it is an object. So let me show you something. Inside the for each, I maintain a payload.data. So basically when I do the payload data, so this particular thing will be passing to the for each, but it is a XML also. So we're providing a XML to for each. So let me show you what is the output of this one. For XML is coming as it is, because whatever we're providing to the for each, it will not change the current payload. So that's why you are getting XML, but inside that, as you can see that we providing a data. So it will basically iterate one by one. So as you can see that first time, second time, third time, and fourth time. Let me do some changes. If I remove this one, what will happen? So let me show you. So I'm waiting for deploy my code. Yeah, it is deploying. Once it is deployed, I will hit Postman same collection and show you console. So I hit. So as you can see that it is basically print this one. So basically our whole data processes once. So this is basically, so if we can give object as XML and JSON. So how many key present in the object, it will take as a one collection. So in previously JSON object, as you can see that there is a 4 key, 1 2 3 4 key available. So it will iterate over 4 times. But in case of XML, if we're not providing anyone, so it will consider it one time. So let me do you another example. So as you can see that this is my another JSON object. As you can see that how many keys available, 1 2 3 4. So it will iterate 4 times. So let me hit this example. This is my 5th example. Yes, so I'm going to show you first, second, third, fourth. So basically whatever we provided based on the object, it considered how many keys available. So as you can see that there are 4 keys available. It is an object. So that's how basically it is considered object as an object, also as an input for each. So purpose of this basically example is that how many kind of input we can provide to the for each. As in MuleSoft this documentation say that we can provide application XML, application JSON, application Java. So that's how I created example 1, how many input we can provide to the for each. So let me stop my server and let me show you my example second. Okay, so example second is all about error handling. So what happened, we are giving a JSON array to for each, and at any point of time while processing any record, it we might get error. For example, as you can see that it failed at second record, because second record I'm checking payload is equals to 2, then I'm converting string to number. As you can see that string is not able to convert to the number. And let me show you what is the input we're providing. 1 2 3 4. So at string second, it's going to fail and it's going to give a mule expression error that shake is not able to convert to the number. I purposely failed this because I want to show you that what happened when any error occurred while for each is execution. So outcome is that at when processing a record second, we got error, then the for each processing is stopped. It will not process record third and fourth. So that's how actually for each is designed. So let me deploy this example too. Yes, as you can see that my application is deployed. Let me going to hit send button. Okay, so I'm providing a 1 2 3 4. At record second it will fail. So let me clear console and show you what is going to happen. Yes, as you can see that the final outcome as an error, we are able to see that shake as number basically cannot course basically string to number. This error we have generated. So let me show you logger. So in the logger, you are able to see that the record 1 is printing in the logger, record second is also printing in the logger, while it will go to here, we have failed record second. So as you can see that the whole processing of for each is stopped. There are no record further going to process. Yes, so this is a basically error case scenario for each. So how to handle? So basically it is a requirement that suppose we are processing a number of record and we want to continue, right? For example, record number second is failed, but we want to continue for further record like record number third and record number fourth. As you can see that we are providing a record number 1 to 4 and record number second is failed, and we want to process that third record and fourth record should process. So that's why we basically what we have done inside the for each, we know that this expression going to fail, so we put this expression inside the try scope. It is another scope. I'm going to cover this scope in another video in a detailed examples. So in try scope, basically we basically wrap this transform message in try scope, and we have used on error continue inside error handling. So what is done when error is through, it will go to error handling. It is on error continue, then it will not propagate error to the parent. So parent is this. So it will continue for third and fourth record. So let me click on hit button of postman. As you can see that we are getting success response, and if I open logger, so as you can see that record number first and second we've got error, but it is also processing record number third and fourth. So this is how actually error handling we have made in for each. We should not want to, basically we don't want to stop the execution, we want to process all record. How many errors come, we do not care about. So if you don't want to stop, then instead of, if you want to stop at current processing, it will not process a further record. For that you can use a on error propagate. So let me example, this is example third. So as you can see that we are only processing record number 1 and 2. After 2 there is no more processing happened. So this is basically all about error handling in for each. So till now basically we have done a basic for each, and after that we have basically done how many types of input we can provide to for each, and example 2 we have basically done how exactly error handling done in for each. So let me show you my final and the last one example and most weighted example, that that if we want to basically, we are providing input to for each, we are doing some processing inside the for each, and we want to reflect output, and how we can do that. So this is the third example. So let me stop current server and let me deploy the fourth application. Yes, as you can see that my application is deployed. So let me check path. It is example 3 iPhone 1. So let me show you what is the purpose of this. So in for each we have some variables. We have one counter variable and root message variable. So if you want to check, suppose we are providing an input from 1 to 10 inside the for each, and the for each basically iterating those item one by one. First time one, second time second, third time third. At any point of time, if you want to check that key which iteration is going on, so that iteration we can check with counter. Okay, and along with the initial period also we have in root message. So for each saying that at any point of time while executing a for each, if you want to check which iteration is going on and what is the initial payload, then you can use two variable. One variable name is counter, another variable name is root message. So let me click on send button. So it is example third ka first send. So as you can see that we have provided input from 1 to 10, and inside that if I show you from 1 to 10, let me go initial. So as you can see that the payload is 1, counter is 1, payload is 2, counter is 2, and this is the root message. Basically in root message we have a attributes and payload is nothing but our initial payload. So this is example 1. Example 2 is saying that we have one more thing inside the for each is batch size. For example, suppose we have a record from 1 to 100, we are going to iterate record from 1 to 100, but we can iterate those record in a batch size. For example, if we given a batch size is 25, what does it mean? It means that 1 to 25 we will process in one batch, and 26 to 50 another batch, 51 to 75 third batch, and 76 to 100 and fourth batch. And this time our for each will execute not 100 times sequentially, it will execute 4 times sequentially. So basically it will create a batch of 4. In every batch we have a 25 records because we have given a batch size 25. So let me click on send button. Send. Yes, so there is 100, but let me show you how it is going, how it is processed. So as you can see that so as you can see that there are 4 batch from 1 to 25, 26, another batch is 26 to 50, and 51 to 75, and 76 to 100. That's how we can use a batch size. So as you can see that we have covered counter, we have covered root message, and we have covered a batch size. Let me explain this time variable propagation. So basically what happened, we are iterating, we are basically providing an input to for each is 1 to 5, but and it is printing a payload, one internal variable. So as you can see that there is no internal variable here. So first time it will print a value of internal variable is null because we have not set internal variable here. Once it is go to here, it will basically set one internal variable, and internal variable is current payload. Okay, so suppose first time it is running, so first time it will print a value of internal variable is null. Second time it will run, second time what value it is getting. This is how actually variable propagation is going on. So as you can see that first time it will set internal variable value of current payload is 1, but second time it will execute the second record, the internal variable value is 1, then it will go here and then set internal variable of 2. So let me click on send button. 1 to 5 records to print. Yeah, so let me show you. So first time variable value is null because there is no variable here, but the second time variable value is 1 because we have set in first iteration we have set internal variable here. Once when the second iteration is started, then we are printing a what is the internal variable value. The variable value is 1, then it will go here and will set value 2. So that's why you in next iteration you are getting value 2, 3 and 4. So that's how the variable propagation is for record wise. So we're creating a variable here, it will utilize for another records. So the most awaited example is that if we want to set or if we want to change the current payload output, whatever processing we are doing inside the for each, and that we want to reflect outside, then how we can do that. So let me show you. In this example we have considered a record from 1 to 5 and we have set one output variable and we have basically take as an array. This is an array, okay, empty array. So here we are printing a payload, what is the value, but here we are increasing a value, okay, to 5. So suppose first time it is giving a 1 to 5, 1 plus 5, 2 plus 5, second time, third time 3 plus 5, 4 time 4 plus 5, fifth time 5 plus 5. So those basically convert to the payload, but here we are setting a variable, the same variable again, whatever value we have in the variable plus payload. Then next time it will execute whatever value we have in the payload plus payload. So as you can see that this is array and this is element, so that's why I have used plus. So it is basically when you do array plus element, it will add the element in the array. So let me show you in the data view editor what we have done. So we have first time we have empty array, but in empty array we are doing 1 plus 5, so it will 6. Second, so basically 6 there, and second time we are doing second plus 5. So as you can see that the element is increasing, so the same operation we are doing here also. So and whatever output we are getting from variables we are setting into payload. So let me do fourth example. So as you can see that input be providing 1 to 5, but what is the output is coming? Yes, 6, 7, 8, 9. So output is changed. How? Because we are basically maintaining a one variable. The whatever value we are setting, the same variable basically go inside, and whatever value we are updating inside the output, it will use for another item or another iteration of for each. So there's how actually the variable propagation is worked inside the for each. We can set any variable inside the for each and it will use here, and we can also get the value of internal variable. If let me show you, if I hit example third, so and let me show you in the logger. So in logger, as you can see that the final internal variable value is also visible outside the for each. So whatever variable we are setting inside the for each, it will propagate outside. Whatever variable we are setting outside the for each, it will be accessible inside, and whatever value we are changing inside the for each, the value will be affected outside the for each. So So that's how actually the for each is work. And the most basic, this is example is kind of more useful, where we need to basically calculate something and we want to iterate outside the for each, because for each by default is not converting a payload to outcomes. But if we want to do that, so with the help of variable we are able to get outcome and internal processing of for each. So this is all about from my side. And I will basically creating a series for hello world. Inside the hello world, the first I have choose scope. So scatter gather I already covered that, and this is the another example for each. The all project zip file I'm going to upload in the drive location, I'm going to provide in the description. We will meet soon with another video. Bye.